This is between Saudi Arabia and Italy. Before we head into this draft, anybody have any predictions or votes on which team you want to see win and advance from Group B?
This is so hard. On one hand, I called Italy to kind of be the sleeper team in this group, so I kind of want to be right. But on the other hand, I have watched a lot of Saudi Arabia, starting with the show matches last week, as well as both games that we've casted so far today. And I think their resilience, the way that they're learning, the way that you can see in the way that they draft, the way that they're playing, they're clearly adapting to the things that they're seeing from these other teams from EU and from the US. So I'm really rooting for them as they head into this game against Italy.
And with that, we have the Feng Mao coming out. No one wants to see M on that Feng Mao. Just gonna respect that ban. So I'm expecting a Rampage might come out as a counter ban there from Saudi Arabia. We'll see what they're opting for. There's a lot of picks you can go for this at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for an Argus ban as well, but we'll have to let them decide on that one.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia, they're looking at their first ban. It could be a target against that Aurora that we were just talking about because Conte just is able to pilot that hero so well, but they're going to take out the Rampage.
I think it's a good pick. I mean, 1.0 just came out on Tuesday. Rampage just got a buff. Understanding how to play against him, what to build, how to rotate, what to do to deal with this just absolute monster across the map. I feel like maybe these teams just don't feel confident and they don't have the ability to deal with him quite yet. And whereas Aurora hasn't really changed too much. I think, in fact, if anything, she got nerfed slightly. So I think they're more willing to deal with Conti's Aurora than this insane Rampage hero. And we're going to see Italy. They're going to pick this Argus. I love this patch because I love Argus. So I'm very happy to see this. And it's an interesting pick first because it can flex into support or mid. So Italy opening the door with a very flexible, they're not showing their hand quite yet.
Also, Saudi Arabia going back to basics. They're going for the Terra. They're going for the SARS. They have their bread and butter. They want to play for it. On the other side, we're starting to see that Holy Trinity. Now, there's no Rampage in this game, but you still have Decker and Argus. And I'm already scared for Saudi Arabia here. What's next? If they get an Aurora here, they would have such a strong control. They can even pick up a Gadget or Gideon as well to just round out the draft, but it's going to be the Aurora.
And that's what you were talking about, Malix. You were talking about that crowd control. You've got the Argus stun ball paired with the Decker, along with the Aurora wall, along with the Decker wall. There's so many walls and there's so much CC. But now you've got the ADC that's being locked in from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's so much control, not just traditional control like stuns and slows, but there's the cages, there's the snow wall, things that can actually stop Terra's unstoppable, which is kind of ironic. But to Malix's point a couple games ago, it seems like Saudi Arabia has kind of regressed in their priorities in this banning process or picking process because they're really leaning into that Zarus and that Terra, heroes who would probably still be available later in this process if they just prioritized Argus Decker early on. At least take one of them for yourself. I think it's just absolutely, I think it's a war crime that they've given both of those heroes to Italy on top of Conti's Aurora.
And with that, I think the mid lane is going to be the next pickup here for Saudi Arabia. I would not be surprised if I see a Gadget coming out here, even though Gadget might have a bit of issues playing targets. I think they just go so well with the rest of their team. So would run up then draft nicely, and then on the other side, you can have your pick if you want to go mid lane or dual lane. It's probably going to be whatever the other team doesn't pick. So it's going to be most likely Kira, Grim, or Murdoch. Kira, Grim.
I too am a fan of that Gadget microwave along with the Zarus, but now you've got the duo locked in. They're going to be piloting the Drongo and the Muriel from the Saudi Arabian side. So, you're looking at the team comp from the Saudi Arabian side and over onto Italy. Italy just has so much CC crowd control, and now you're seeing that damage coming from the Kira. Of course, their last pick being Kwang.
Yeah, they get the Kwang. It's a standard matchup into Terra. I don't really know the stats in who's favored in that situation, but it's definitely not like you're not inting that lane away to a Terra as a Kwang. You have an inherent dash, you have escapability, and up until level 6, you can actually control her quite nicely. So could be very effective with Conti. And as you guys just called it, we get that gadget in the mid lane, and it's something we talked about going into this Argus mid lane. You need a hero who can get lane prio to stop him from constantly having prio and rotating to objectives in other lanes. And that's the hero to do it.
It's the hero to do it as well. I feel like Kwang just rounds out their draft quite nicely. They have now they have a good follow up to both the Suns, and Aurora can follow up on his tether as well. On the other side, we have that Muriel with a global presence, and in late game she can be kind of decided with getting those wave priority set for your team, so you can ult over if you need it, or just make sure you always have a man advantage if there's a fight taking place anywhere. But that can also be a double-edged sword, because you might just leave your Drongo out to dry by not having the support there. And with Decker, it can be a bit of a hard matchup because she has so much oppressive gameplay within that lane as well.
And now that we have the draft rounded out, Italy versus Saudi, this is game number 6. Which draft are you favoring the most?
Italy, they got Argus and Decker. That's it. That's all I got.
I mean, yeah, after seeing all the games today, it's Italy.
Is it going to be Italy or is it going to be Saudi? I guess we'll have to find out. Let's send it over to Lance Cecil and the Wangle.
Welcome back, guys, to the Nations League. I'm Wangle, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Lance Cecil. We're going to be bringing you this game. Lance, how are you feeling about the game coming up?
I'm excited about it. The potential of a 3-way tie coming up between all of the teams. Not really sure how we'll shake that out if it's to happen. But you love competitive competitions, right? It's a little redundant, but you want everybody to be tight towards the end of it. We look like we are in that position. We'll see who comes out on the top of these two teams who have kind of different comps between the two of them, Wingle.
Yeah, very much on the side of Italy. We've leaned very hard into this kind of pick comp with the Argus Decker. We're going to get into the game right now, though, as we load into the map. Forget what the official name of it is.
Sanctuary! We're going to settle it on the Sanctuary this time, Wingle.
There you go. Lance has got it ready. This is why I'm doing with him.
I'm always ready for you, Wingle.
Level 1, maybe looking for a little bit of an invade. Obviously, a lot of CC on this Italy comp. It's something I want to break down, but let's see if something happens level 1. They want to make something happen in this red side jungle.
And they've got all of the stuns, right? They've got the Q on the Argus. They've got the right click onto the Decker. If they find somebody standing out of position, like maybe this Muriel who actually sinks back into the tier 1 tower, but they could just blow somebody up. CC lock you for 5-6 seconds at level 1. That's nasty on a comp like this.
Yeah, not able to find anyone. They're just going to trade wards. Saudi Arabia getting the ward on the 5 camp, Italy getting the ward on the 2 camp. Getting a little bit of vision in each other's jungles, going to get that trade. But as you were talking about, very different comps for these two teams. We see a duo that has been very prevalent in this tournament so far. We see Argus plus Decker on the side of Italy, and those two characters together on their own just provide so much ability to catch people out if they make a single mistake. One random Decker ball leading into a Decker ult, leading into an Argus stun. You're not able to move for a good couple seconds, and it means that there's a lot of damage that can be put onto you. It can catch people really hard before objectives. I think it'll be difficult for them to actually pull the objectives, but even with the team fighting capability of Aurora, they don't have a bad team fighting comp. But the way that these two comps want to play, Italy are looking for these stuns. They're looking for Kwang Tether, even Aurora Wall or the Hoarfrost from Aurora, in order to get a singular stun onto somebody, and then you just put them in the spin cycle. Don't let them play the game for the next minute and a half about. On the other side, though, very, very different comp. We have Zarus, Terra, Muriel, Gadget. Those are the 4 main components of this. The Drongo is there. It's a very safe ADC pick. It's able to peel itself with its ult and the gag grenade. That's what it wants to do. But the other 4, the Zarus wants to dive in, the Terra wants to dive in, the Gadget wants to put her ult on top of the Zarus ult, Muriel wants to ult onto the Zarus as well. They want to dive hard onto this backline. It's a pretty immobile backline with the Argus. Kira has the dash, but can't really get out of the Zarus cage. if any of them get caught out without flash, they're going to be hit by multiple ultimates, and that's what Italy have to be wary of from the Saudi Arabian side. Is if Saudi Arabia get a really good team fight, Italy's whole team is going to just get blown up.
Ooh, you had the first gank coming in. The Aurora is going to go out, which is going to force the Gadget to not drop. Yeah, okay, they are going to drop down into it. Ragnarok there to protect him as well, so not a lot of action going on, but Conte the first to really show himself, get some going on. But Wangle, can you elaborate for us about this? You know, we talked to Conte being this Aurora one trick and playing it so much, but Zarus has dominated and been such a priority pick for the competitive scene for so long in Predecessor. How does Aurora play into a character like Zarus in the jungle here for Conte?
So the matchup has changed a little bit. I think both characters have been repeatedly nerfed patch after patch, but just the way that their kits are designed, they're just so strong. And Conte's so good at the Aurora. Ragnarok known for his Zarus as well. Both teams going to stay with these picks. I'm not completely sure, to be honest, how good either are in the current meta. I haven't played competitive on the newer patch. But with something like the Zarus wants to dive onto the backline, and he's going to be the big initiator for his team. They don't have a lot of tankiness. Obviously, Terra's, you know, she's decently tanky, but she's not exactly the sturdiest. She uses her ult, but then afterwards, she can get blown up decently quickly if she's not super fed. So the Zarus has to initiate, and I think he'll want to build a little bit more tanky for this kind of comp. But I think in the 1v1, if the Zarus dives in too hard, the Aurora does just get to blow her whole kit. And it is like pretty rough for the Zarus, because even though he's in the cage, even though he might have the damage reduction from his shield, he's not going to be able to move for a couple seconds once he gets ulted. He's going to be sitting in the Aurora passive where he's getting max health ticked. He's going to get guaranteed root onto him. As you're seeing here, it is not the easiest 1v1 for Ragnarok. He has to try and dodge a lot of the Aurora spells and the CC in order to play these fights.
And so far throughout this game, not a lot of action has happened, right? And what you're seeing is two teams that are very respectful of each other's abilities. You don't want to give that first mistake, have it be made, as once again, Conte is actually going to return himself to the mid lane. Is going to catch the Gadget this time, still has the blink available, is going to blink out a little bit more particle shredder, but it's not going to be enough. Level 6 not online, so we'll get the first blink of the game as we're going to move over into the off lane. There's a little bit of fighting, but I think M's going to be able to get away for free unless this Tetherland's got to dodge it. M, he does dodge it. Not a lot of kill pressure anymore. So the first flash of the game is blown. We might have the potential to see a first flash kind of soon here, but these guys not willing to make this first mistake is kind of what we're seeing over and over again. Another decent wall, another flash used out of the Muriel this time.
Yeah, that's two flashes down on the side of Saudi Arabia. I know Conte's licking his lips. He's probably going to opt into a bit of a farm now. He wants to hit the level 6, but he will hit level 6 before this Gadget, before the Muriel get their ults back, and I think that's what he's going to be targeting. Probably on the mid lane side, as it's really easy to set up ganks with the Argus. All that needs to happen is the Argus hits one stun, Conte gets a guaranteed free root. The Argus gets to just start blasting with his ult whenever he wants to, as soon as the first stun hits. So I believe this Gadget is going to be the priority pick, especially with how strong Gadget is and how hard it scales. Obviously, it has been nerfed this patch. You still don't want that thing to hit 3 items. Once it hits 3 items, it is just a menace in teamfights, and if you can delay its 3-item spike as long as possible, it means that these objectives are going to be a lot safer for Italy, as they don't have a great comp to play inside of pits.
And I do notice this Wangle, or this Gadget here, Wangle, is not going towards the alchemical rod that you saw. They have the cooldown reduction item first. So a little bit interesting to not go that direction in this matchup, I think, as you're going to need a little bit more sustain in it. What are the other options for a first build on a Gadget?
It's going...
Oh, hold on, we got a little bit of action going on. Conte is in here onto the Gadget, just as you predicted. Gonna have to flash away. And did they get him? No first blood yet. Oh, Mamma Mia, put him on the board. The support comes in. Decker's gonna get the first blood for Team Italy.
Yeah, 7 minutes, and Bjorsen has already shown up mid twice. Just classic Decker things. You hate to see it as a mid laner. I hate to play against it as a mid laner. Super unfun. Decker, Argus, and Aurora. So much CC that you do have to dodge. Very low in the off lane here, though.
M's on the wrong side of the map here. Gets tethered. Gonna get slide into, and they're gonna get another kill for Team Italy, now up 2-0 over Team Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Terra obviously a character that has been very strong since she has come out. However, another character that has been nerfed, so I'm not sure exactly how good she is this patch. And Kwang is just that staple early game offlaner. Doesn't lose pretty much any matchup as far as I'm aware. He gets very much outscaled. Yank onto the dough here, ACM's gonna have to flash out. But as I was saying, in that offlane, Kwang is just that staple offlaner. He doesn't really lose early game trades because of his passive, because of how his shield works. So M, unfortunately, just taking not great trades as the Terra and ends up falling there. And is now 2-0 in favor of Italy. They're on this Fangtooth. They know they're in a position of power. They want to make stuff happen early, and they really are.
Right, they're gonna do the handshake here. Gonna get Team Saudi Arabia recognizing Ragnarok knows they are over on that Fangtooth just because of what has been happening over on that side of the map. So they're gonna do the handshake, get themselves the mini prime, try to get some pressure here. We'll see if they give it over to M on the Terra. That's kind of what I'm expecting. May also accidentally give it to Gadget as the slow was on it, but no, it does go over to the Terra. Try to even up some of that pressure that Kwang's been able to get on, especially after that slow kill just comes down onto it.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to... Italy will definitely want to look for this Terra now that it has the Orb Prime, and M will definitely want to try and get this tower in the duration of the Mini Prime. So that's going to be, I think, the big focus. Conte is going to be on his red side jungle here, so M does have to play safely. He's going to reset now, but about next 45-50 seconds, M is going to have to respect the fact that he can get ganked. Obviously, it's kind of difficult for an Aurora to gank a Terra due to how Terra's ult functions and kind of counters a lot of Aurora's kit. Dual lane, we seem to be scaling a little bit. Capo to Cappy up here, 85 CS at 9 minutes, looking pretty good. Not a ton going on in this lane. Bjorsen having opted into quite a lot of roams to mid. I think they're going to be focusing a lot on this offlane side, as I mentioned, right now.
Yeah, oh, Dark Dodo is over here. The tether is going to land, but the ult will come right out of Terra, get himself clear of that CC back into the tower. Doesn't even have to use the blink, even though I actually don't think it was available to them anyways. Either way, doesn't need it, gets themselves out. More pressure here into the Gadget. The stun is going to land. The cage comes down, but nobody is up to really follow up that damage from the Decker here.
Yeah, Capo over here in the jungle, doing a little bit of a weak side. A little bit of... Oh, Decker has to flash. Decker flash gets blown for almost nothing, so
yeah,
no support flash anymore. I think the interesting thing from Saudi Arabia's side, they're going to maybe get this T1 tower here. They're going to commit for it. ACM and Hagazi taking that tower down. I would like to see now if Saudi Arabia can really push their Muriel at advantage, because Bjorsen has been leaving the lane quite a lot on this Decker, making a lot of things happen mid. However, that Muriel with the Zarus, with the Terra, are very, very strong for those characters specifically, and I'd like to see them play more towards mid, more towards offlane side, with the Muriel now being level 6.
Well, Kante comes in, gets the root. The ult comes down right away. Kyr says there is no ult available, but the reversal of fortune is going to come in, knock both of them up, starting to turn this fight, but it's still M who is on the retreat. Ooh, Kwang actually going a little bit low. We're going to get a little bit of a lag spike in the middle of it, so we'll have to find out what happens together. It looks like it's going to be the Terra who's going to fall. Kante going to take the blast cone back up. Kwang going to push himself into the tower here. Does do the right thing, give it over to the Muriel, so good job kind of from the Kwang there. And Dodo going to have to retreat himself back up. Big Coliseum going to come down on the other side. Double jump's not going to be enough. That's a stack for Ragnarok. Now Capo's going to have to keep retreating. Doesn't have this tier 1 tower. Ragnarok going to keep looking him down. Whoa, he flashes in, has one spear, one auto attack, one more auto attack, one more auto attack. He gets it. Ragnarok puts him down, and all of a sudden the Arabian Knights are back in this game, Wangle.
Really, really good set of plays from Saudi Arabia here. Ragnarok seeing that everything is happening on the other side of the map. They're gonna be pushing into ACM on this duo lane, and just knows to be able to punish it. Catches the Decker, who lost her flash in the river as we saw. Dark Dodo over here though, trying to see if he can get some retribution onto Ragnarok. Not able to. The Muriel shows up, and he just gets out. Conte though, catching ACM in the river. I don't really know where that came from, but just out of nowhere, this game is just completely blown wide open.
And it's such a contrast from what was at the beginning of this game. 6-7 minutes in, nobody had even blinked, and all of a sudden, the first little spot in the levee breaks, and the floodgates are open, and these guys just cannot stop fighting once again over in the offlane, trading those health bars, trading that resource. They get themselves to the point that they are low. One of them thinks the other one is in kill range. The jungler shows up, and they fight, and it's just a repeat over and over again at this point. And I love this style of Predecessor angle.
Yeah, very open flowing game it seems. Both teams very much have aggressive junglers. Conte and Ragnarok, both known for pretty aggressive play styles in the jungle. They're going to make a lot of things happen, so you're going to see a lot of plays being made across the map. Very like playmaking shot callers for their team.
Does seem that we've hit a small point of inaction, but that is soon to end as the next Fangtooth will be spawning in just a couple of seconds here. Conte doesn't look like he has swept that ward that was standing there, but it may have just expired. Gonna hit that reset. Multiple members of Team Italy actually now resetting, which leads me to believe they will be turning their attention over to the second Fangtooth of the game, trying to get themselves that out of combat movement speed. But Saudi Arabia actually already over here got it started, so maybe those resets weren't great. Actually, yeah, they are just going to take it from right under their noses.
Yeah, I guess that ward that we saw that Conte may have missed before it expired maybe showed Saudi Arabia that, hey, their jungler just reset. Can we just start this right now? Really good stun from Dark Dodo onto the gadget. Conte's in there, catching him, uses the ult, and going to guarantee the Arcus ultimate to take down Bara on the gadget.
Oh, but it's not over. Ragnarok chasing down Dark Dodo. Is he going to be able to get to him? He does stun the Terra on his way out, who also gets tethered in. Really good peel from that Quang in order to get their Argus out of it. The rest of Team Italy kind of congregating around here, but doesn't look like it's quite time to fight, as Conte is going to go back up to his 2 camp, start that farming process all over again.
Yeah, actually, really good display here from Dark Dodo. Someone that I wasn't really aware of. Gonna have to pause that real quick. Ragnarok with the ult onto Fjorsan, but he activates the Sank. He is getting a big shield, and he's able to just get out of there. And now Ragnarok does not have Zara's ultimate for this mini prime for the next minute or so.
Yeah, not going to have the ultimate wall. The mini prime is going to be up, which, you know, means the other team is going to probably want to fight it. All 10 members on this map are hovering around this blue side jungle for the dusk side of the map. See if they can find anybody out of position. But we talked about the pick comp for Team Italy. If they can get this Decker and this Argus semi-close to each other, should be easy for them to find one person peeking, trying to get that ward or sweep that ward from the enemy. But right now, just a little bit of posturing going on.
Yeah, I think the big thing Italy's waiting for is that Aurora ultimate. It is their one big team fight ultimate that they have to really swing a fight in their favor, and they're going to have it up before the Zara's ultimate. But as I was saying, I want to sing my praises here for Dark Dodo and how he's playing this game on the Argus. Kind of creating so much map pressure across the map. Someone that I wasn't aware of playing the game.
Muriel is caught, Wangle. That one more shot. Are they going to be able to get her behind? Sorry to interrupt you there, Wangle. I thought that was going to be the turning point for it. But actually, it looks like it might be, as that he's going to have to reset. I don't believe the Reversal of Fortune is off cooldown yet. Wouldn't be surprised to see them just kind of rip this mini prime, but it looks like that's not the decision they're making.
I'm not going to opt into it. Zaris does not have ult. Maybe it is up in the next couple seconds, but I don't think they know what the Muriel ult timer is, and they don't feel like they can risk it. If Zaris and Muriel ult were to be up, it is a very dangerous fight. As I said, this Italy team do not want to be in the pit with both of those ults and the gadget ult existing on the side of Saudi Arabia. So not having the ult timers makes it really difficult for them to pull the objectives. Obviously, they have the pick comp. They want to find the picks before the fight starts, and they weren't really able to find anything for this mini prime, so they're going to go back to farming, pick it up maybe a little bit later, as we're looking at now.
The stun ball from the Decker just misses there, or we would have had a full-blown engage for sure. We do have 2 items finished on pretty much all of the important members. As a flank from M does come out, but is she the one flanking, or is she just going to get around and turned on? Does have a lot of attention down onto Conte, who is getting low. The Muriel does come through. Conte is on the retreat now. Ragnarok also quite low. Quang is going to fall to ACM on the Drongo. on the backside of this, and now it looks like it is the Decker who's a little bit out of position, gonna have to try to use a cage, use a jump. Unfortunately, not able to get the Terror, which means she's gonna commit the blink, but Terror's gonna blink right after, take the blast cone. Oh no, Decker didn't get up, but it doesn't matter. They've turned their attention. They're gonna claim this mini prime, and Saudi Arabia looks like they're climbing themselves into the driver's seat of this game, Wangle, as they collect their second orb or mini prime of the game.
Yeah, Ragnarok going to take that mini prime. M going to push for this off lane tower here. I'd like to see Ragnarok use that mini prime to take down this mid lane tower in the next minute or two. But really, really well played fight from Saudi Arabia. Conte getting disconnected from his team due to the combo of the Zarus gadget onto, I believe it was the Kwang and the Kira. Kira having to blow blink in that fight and then not really able to hit anything for the rest of it, meaning Conte was just kind of stranded on his own, deep in enemy lines, Saving Private Ryan style, and just, you know, ended up falling, and Saudi Arabia were able to capitalize. I'd like to see them now with the mini prime, Fangtooth coming up very soon. They're going to have the mini prime for the fight, meaning Ragnarok's going to have the bonus damage, going to have the bonus armor. Definitely someone to keep an eye on for this next team fight coming up. But I'd like to see them really shove this game, kind of push it home.
It'll be interesting to see. I do think that the scaling advantage does fall into the side of Saudi Arabia. If they're able to get going in here, we know what a Muriel can be like late game. You and I, Wangle, both very familiar with Gadget is like late game. We are tied up 1-1 in Fangtooth, as it is Team Italy who's going to be the first to start it. Ragnarok pressing towards it, but not going to be there anywhere near fast enough, as they do take that really quick. So Primal Fangtooth up in 5 minutes for whoever is able to claim it. Going to be very important for Italy, as they are at 2 on it right now. But I think as this game continues to go, it does start to fall into Saudi Arabia's favor, especially as the longer team fights go on. How do you feel about that, Wangle?
I would agree. Definitely, even though Gadget got nerfed, once she does get to that 3-item, 4-item range, that's when she is always going to be a menace, especially with that Zarus Cage combo. The threat of the Gadget ult is just going to be so dangerous for this Italian side that they really have to be careful on the positioning, know how to play around it, not get caught out, especially without blinks. And really, that's going to be the big thing to navigate in this team fight. Because if one issue happens, you're getting 3 ults dumped on your head, and you're probably going to fall if you're on the Italian side. They do have some decent scaling with the Argus, with the Kira. Kira, again, I'm not sure how much the nerfs have affected this character, but it was always very good late game if it was able to get a bit of, you know, once it gets a Demolisher, once it gets its attack speed online. Ragnarok with the mini prime sitting in mid, they're going to commit all 5 here for Saudi Arabia to the mid lane. Conte with a really good wall, though.
Really good wall, and they need to try to keep this up. This is their last tier 1 tower that is alive, so good job by Team Italy of committing their people here, stopping that from going down. They need to try to create some pressure of their own, though. It has been tough with these 2 mini primes, as we've mentioned, that the Saudi Arabia team has gotten. Going to be a little tough, but a nice Obliterator comes out. The Tesla Dome does come down, as well as going to be the Kwang who falls next. So 1 member down on both sides. The Zarus down, 2 more fighting coming out. Conte's going to have to jump himself up as he's very low. M is in the backline, but they're going to be able to get him, Conte now to just a sliver of health, as I think both of these teams are going to disengage from each other at this point. That's going to be a 2-for-1, though, in the favor of Team Italy. So maybe they can start to create that map pressure we were just referring to.
Kind of insane 10 ult team fight coming out in the mid lane. Nobody has their ults after that fight comes out. The Gadget ult being on the Kwang, I think that's probably the person that you want it on the least of this whole team. Maybe the Decker as well, but the Kwang does fall in that fight, but not for nothing. Ragnarok and M going to fall as well. Italy not really able to do anything because, you know, no ultimates, pretty low health. They'll have to reset. By that point, Ragnarok and M are going to be up. Can't really pull the orb, but it is a fight in favor of Italy. They're able to defend their tower. It was really well played. That's exactly how Italy want to play this kind of pick comp. You got the stun from Dark Dota to catch Ragnarok out, and then everybody jumped onto Ragnarok and were able to catch him. Haven't seen many fights like that from them here, but maybe we see another one.
Great wall by Conte holding both of them in there. That Muriel, way over the top of the wall. Conte, I think, kind of slipped into the pit when he was trying to go down there, get that last hit onto the Muriel. So no one's actually going to fall there because of patch V.01. Conte still adjusting, guys.
Yeah, the Muriel living there was kind of crazy, but we're seeing some really good play from Italy and how they want to play this comp. It was really well played from Saudi Arabia for the first 20 or so minutes of the game. They weren't really getting caught out by the stuns, and then about 2 minutes, 2 fights in suggestion, they almost have 2 different people getting caught out by random stuns. But Italy really needing to push forward when they are able to catch people out a little bit here, not really capitalizing off of all the moments that they have.
They don't seem to have been capitalizing on it. They also haven't been capitalizing on any of the pressure that they've been able to get with any of these early kills. They have 0 tier 1 towers killed so far. Gonna make it tough and put Saudi Arabia in control of this map. And it looks like Ragnarok's gonna come in here, get that kill as he was in a 1v2 for a second. The rest of the cavalry does arrive though, so once again, a good clean kill for Ragnarok as he puts Saudi Arabia on his back for another time in this game. Actually going to move up onto Dark Dodo as well. Does take a stun underneath it. Very low health. Can they form the body wall? Get him out of there. Okay, Ragnarok is going to survive here. But just like that, Saudi Arabia just plays the Uno reverse card, gets that Muriel ult in, able to take the Kira down, and now they are the ones, once again, with the ability to pressure the map.
And just to up the stakes a little bit more, if they weren't already insanely high from how close this game is, 7-8 at 24 minutes, 2 Fang 2-1 in favor of Italy. However, US have just won their game. So that means,
Go America!
So that means if Italy win, they're going to top the group, and if Saudi Arabia win, we're going to have a 3-way tie on 3 teams, 2 wins, 1 loss, and we're going to have to go to a tiebreaker to decide who's going to get eliminated from this group. So for Saudi, it's life or death right now, and for Italy, if they win, they're the kings of this group. So both teams now a little bit more stakes added to this game.
Oh, I've officially changed who I am rooting for. Everybody likes bonus Predecessor. We will now be biased towards Saudi Arabia. I apologize to the audience.
I will not be biased. I am known as the regionless one. I'm going to stay completely open on this. Conte walking into the jungle here, maybe trying to see if something can happen. Both objectives up, both Primal Fangtooth and Orb Prime. That is going to be the focus for the next couple minutes. As we all know, Predecessor is a very objective-focused game, and these are the 2 biggies. So the next couple minutes are probably going to be the game decider.
And I like where Team Italy is at right now. They've kind of got the inside scoop for it. Decker does reveal herself on the ward there, though. But all of Team Saudi Arabia is grouped up here. So if they are able to find one person, they're going to be able to converge onto them pretty quickly. M is separating, trying to find a flank onto here. They see the Decker, but she's pretty slippery. Going to be hard to get onto it. Ragnarok going to come down with the Coliseum, gets 2 of them into it, and they get the ADC, who's going to have to flash out pretty much out of this fight at this point. Another flash is going to come out from the Quang as well. And actually, it's Conte very low in the backline. Going to have to flash up into the tier 2 tower. Stecker also having to retreat. Gadget going to take a Dread Nova to the face. Dark Dodo going to put him down. Ragnarok still with very low health. Here's the ult. Can he get the last one? No, he's going to miss it. So Ragnarok probably not going to fall in this fight. Looks like it's only going to be the Gadget who ends up falling at the end. But so many cooldowns burned in that team fight.
That Dread Nova, if one of those last 2 had hit Ragnarok, I think we'd be in a very, very different position evaluating that Saudi Arabia aggression in the duo lane. But only the Gadget is going to fall from that fight. But the big thing to note is 3 blinks being blown on the side of Italy. Saudi Arabia not really having many blinks of their own. They have ones on the Terra and the Drongo, but the really important blink coming out from Capo de Capi, that's 5 minutes now that the next Zarus ults are going to be focused just on him. They know if they catch this ADC, they can blow every single cooldown on him and he will die. There is no counterplay. If the ADC gets caught out, it will just fall. So that's going to be the next couple minutes, what Saudi Arabia is going to be looking for. Let's see if Italy can make something happen to not let Saudi Arabia play their game.
I love little mini games within the game. It's kind of like when you build Soulbinder and you like have to poke them over and over again to stack that little thing up, right? Now that mini game for Ragnarok is getting to this Kira, blowing her up as soon as that Coliseum is off of it, taking the neutral objectives and trying to push to end this game as we are approaching the 27-minute mark. You know, death
Speaking
timers
of
are getting
the
very,
Kira,
very
look
long,
at
and
it.
here it is. Yes, just like it, the Prophet Wangle predicts it. M is going to get up onto Kapudani, who has no way to get himself away, and he is going to perish. Spend a little time in the replay mode. Here comes the Coliseum. Tesla Dome is answered down directly on top of it as well, so the damage is stacking, but it's not going to be enough to take down this Quake, who is very, very chunky. But the Decker is going to fall. The Argus gets another one in the back. Only the Terra remains for Team
Oh my God,
Saudi
what a
Arabia
bloodbath.
now, and he is getting everybody in the backlines here. Is he going to be able to do this? The Crystal is going to stop him, though, but Conte and Dodo are the only ones left. The Horfrost is going to come out. He's going to get him a lot of
Oh
damage.
my-
Comes out, but he just blows
M.
Dodo up. M, you got him. Flash out of M. You got him, M. Go get him. He does it. Oh, get him, M. Not enough. Oh, he's going to get out. How anticlimactic. But M standing on his goddamn head there. How does he do that?
What an insane team fight. 4 on each team falling. Conte almost falling at the end as well there. So many things happen. Capo getting caught in the left lane, getting ran at by M. M, the star player for Saudi Arabia in that fight, just completely taking out everybody almost on his own. Ragnarok with a bit of over-aggression, getting caught. Conte played it really well, was able to wall Ragnarok off from his team, and then was able to get a ultimate onto the backline, was able to take down ACM and Higasi almost on his own with a good amount of help from Dark Dodo, and just M coming back into the fight after taking the ADC on his own, proceeds to be like, you know what, my team might be dead, but so's your team. Every single one of you just runs everybody down. One of the most insane team fights I've seen in this tournament so far.
Oh, and we're not quite done as once again this poor Gadget just keeps being targeted by Conte here, the vampire. Just gonna get him down once again. So no Tesla Dome available for this next team fight. Both the big neutral objectives are still up as nobody's really been able to get out of a team fight with enough members left on their team to be able to pressure one of these. But with 40 seconds still left on a big chunk of the damage for Team Saudi Arabia, Italy might be pressured to try to get a little aggressive, try to find a pick here. They do see Ragnarok. I'm not sure if that's the one they want to try to blow up. The Coliseum's going to come down with the reversal of fortune right away as well. And actually, he is going to have to blow out. The ADC is going to be able to pick them up. That's 3 members down for Team Saudi Arabia. Now the team wipe is coming in. They are going to lose their ADC, but it's not going to matter. They've taken 3. They're going to take 4 as well, as M's going to fall with a big shutdown for whoever it was that were able to take the tail. It was Quang gets that big shutdown, but the important part, they get this Primal Fangtooth now that's going to get the 3rd for them as well, Wangle.
You know, just after playing so well, such back and forth Predecessor, you hate to see it happen like this. The Gadget getting caught out in mid, and then Team Saudi Arabia is on the back foot. They don't have their Wombo combo. They have to try and make something happen, and Italy knows that Saudi Arabia has to try and make something happen, and they know that they're able to catch Ragnarok out in that mid lane, and once the jungler is down, there's not much that can do. They're going to secure that Primal Fangtooth. It's going to be 3rd Fangtooth buff as well. And they're going to have the Primal in order to do this Orb Prime. As I was talking about, this Italy team does not have a great comp for playing in the pit, but with the Primal buff, with how Aurora has been playing these fights, the amount of damage that it just adds in these team fights, I think it doesn't matter. I think that Saudi Arabia are going to be hard-pressed to find a winning position from here on.
I think it's going to be very tough, and you will see the Italian players, because of their experience with this game, know these things that Wangle is talking about. They're going to be pressuring this pit. They're going to be daring the Saudi Arabian team to come in here, try to take a team fight against them. We do have all 10 members up, so when these team fights do start to happen, the blue dots on almost everybody is up. It looks like it is only the Drongo now, as Muriel's just comes up as well. Actually, Drongo's just comes up too, so everybody's got their ultimates. A decent amount of people have their blinks. The advantage of having this Primordial Blaze is huge, though. We do have to note the Kira does not have it for Team Italy, though, but it looks like they're going to focus their attention onto this tier 2 tower, pick this up as it is free. Then they should be able to kind of sneak themselves back in here. Look at this Prime Pit, but I'm going to be very surprised if they do not make an attempt at the big purple buff while they've got Primordial Blaze with them.
Yeah, it is
Here it is.
the classic accordion of Predecessor. Do we push? Do we do objective? We're going back and forth a little bit. But they decide we have mid shove. We want to make something happen in the pit here. Ragnarok very deep, very early.
Oh, the Colosseum does come down there, followed by the Reversal of Fortune. Does get a knock-up onto 3, but we already have Hira who has fallen. That's a lot of damage down, but Ragnarok gonna be the next to go, followed by the Muriel as well. Lafiel is, or I apologize, I murdered your name, Quang, but you die, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Emma's gonna get him. Oh, what? Hey! Oh, what a primary ability comes out of the Dark Dodo there, as that's gonna pick up the gadget as well. Only M remains for Team Saudi Arabia. And is Dodo hunting right now? Is he looking for her? Oh, they did have her on a ward. Oh, just misses it. Mamma mia.
As I tried to say earlier in this game, and he just keeps proving it, Dark Dodo with an absolutely dominant display in this mid lane on the Argus, as well as Team Italy is playing. He has to be the star player for this game. The amount of pressure he's exerted this game, playing these team fights to near perfection. Oh yeah. One time. The M's back in, again, the star player for Saudi Arabia this game, I'd say. And he's looking for blood.
You know, I had never heard of M before today. He might be my new favorite player. I watched the last game they played. He flashes forward. What an animal. He's going to kill the former Smite Pro in the Dark Dodo. Shout out to M, my new favorite offlaner.
Oh my god, this game just does not cease to give everything that you could want from a Predecessor match. Italy now 2 players down for 50 seconds. Dark Dodo, you hate to see it. He's played such a good game, but he's going to fall, and it's going to be very difficult here now. Saudi Arabia in a very good position to get this Ore Prime. Conte's going to have to look to make something happen. Aurora is a very good character at stealing primes. You're able to have a lot of movement. Very difficult to stop this character. Ragnarok knows this. He's looking for a turn. Gonna get the ult onto Conte.
And just blown up immediately. Capo Cappy is able to take him down, but M over here onto this Quang, unable to be stopped, also being supported by this Muriel with all of the shields. Tether isn't going to land. They should be able to just run this Quang down. There is the Tether, but it is Capo getting... Oh, actually, it's the Muriel who's getting killed by Capo. Conte does get a Horfrost down, but the ult from the Shrapnel Cannon with the Drongo is going to get themselves out. M onto the backline once again, though. Capo going to take a little bit of the attention, but this is a 3-on-2 here. They need to be careful about it. Conte getting very low, Capo getting very low, Conte just a sliver of health, M very low too. Is anybody else gonna go? There's a gadget around, throwing some hats up, but none of them are gonna land. They're gonna have to reset. So many people are dying. These guys are just murdering each other, Wangle.
This game is no longer cagey. It's no longer being played perfect. Both teams getting very desperate in these team fights. You can see very all over the place. Everybody's going down everywhere. Really good catch onto the Muriel from Capo. Really good kill onto Ragnarok. The killing Ragnarok there is the big one. They can't do the Prime without their jungler, with Conte still being up on the map. However, M just doesn't care. He's sprinting at you. What are you going to do about him? You have Decker Cage, you have Aurora Wall. Doesn't matter. He's still going to find a way onto your backline. And he has just become the menace of this game. Italy really needs to take down M in order to win these fights.
I don't know who this M guy is, but I think they might have his name upside down, because this guy is looking like a W to me, with the way that he is holding down that key, with the way that he is going to secure this win for Team Saudi Arabia, get all of the fans some bonus Predecessor, hopefully. Producers willing, of course, but we've got to fight around this Primal Fangtooth. We do get a stun down onto it, though. M, once again, walking forward into them. It is going to be Team Saudi Arabia who secures the Primordial Blaze for themselves. The Colosseum is going to come down, followed by the Reversal of Fortune, as we've seen in almost every single fight with the gadget. Also putting a bunch of damage out. It's going to be Ragnarok who falls next. Drongo needing to get out of there, uses the Shrapnel Cannon to get himself out. Capo is going to pick up the Muriel as well, 2 for 2, but the Primordial Fangtooth conquered by Team Saudi Arabia. They're blazing hot. Actually, a little bit more attention here onto M. Are they going to be able to get the damage out? The Blaze is coming. He is a very tanky hero. The stun ball does not land. Oh, but actually it's going to be Dodo who's going to pick up Bara on the other side. So no gadget once again. These neutral objectives are down and they are pressuring in onto these inhibs because of the lane states, Wangle. They might pick up 2 or 3 inhibs here.
I think they definitely get the mid one. It might be the only one. Maybe they get left lane as well, but I think that's going to be it. M and ACM both up. Both of the Saudi guys with the M. You know, they go together hand in hand. These two players, very well known on the EU servers. But again, an insane fight. Saudi Arabia knowing that they can just pull the Primal Fangtooth, that they're in a position of power again with their team fight comp, and they do get the Primal Fangtooth, but Ragnarok falling in the fight again, a little bit over aggressive, you might say, for someone that needs to stay alive considering that he has the smite. And really well played from Italy. Even though they're down Primal buff, they were able to pick up 3 kills in that fight. M and ACM, the only 2 with the Primal buff now, they're going to be the focuses in this fight. You want to get rid of those characters that have the Primal buff. Gadget's still down for 10. I don't think Italy can pull this objective. I think they're opting to just kind of dance around a little bit, do a little predecessor shimmy, as I like to call it. But it's going to come down to another objective fight. 40-minute banger we're looking at, and it's not over yet.
It is not over yet, especially if Saudi Arabia is able to clear this next objective and take it. That allows them a little bit more time on defense. We might hit that patented hour mark, Wangle, that everybody loves to watch, everybody loves to participate, and everybody loves to cast hour-long games. So we still have our fingers and our toes crossed for that one, as we do a little bit of positioning around this orb prime pit. Neither one of them wants to let the other ones in, get those wards down. But we are, we're approaching the point. We've got full builds on just about everybody. Kill score 25-21. 5 Fang Teeth have been taken. 3 orbs have been taken. 2 minis, 1 full-size one. And these guys are still just throwing hands at each other, standing in the middle, not hearing no bells, trying to represent their nation, Wangle. This isn't just about being the best predecessor player. This is about being the best country.
This is the Nikola Jokic moment of predecessor. You know, you can play for your teams. Do you really care about it? When you play for your nation, you're fighting for glory. You're fighting for your family, your home. And people don't take that lightly, I might think. You can just see it in the way these players are playing. Quite a nuts game of predecessor. One of the most insane that I have been a part of or witnessed in the past, I don't even know how long.
And as we are just kind of taking a little bit of a stalemate as we are looking at each other, I want to take the 5-10 seconds that I have to thank whoever at Ometa removed the trees from this camera view, because it is beautiful and we can see so much and we know what is happening and it wasn't there before. So chef's kiss to whoever made this spectator view right here. You're the GOAT.
The option to get rid of the foliage in replay, chef's kiss, perfection. Able to see so much of how these teams are lining up. Not really looking at anything. Italy have the benefit of guaranteed mid pressure due to that mid inhib being down. Saudi Arabia threatening Italy. They're going to force them to have to do something. You have Hegazi as the Muriel in the duo lane. He's going to not opt into pushing anymore, even though the entirety of Italy is on this orb prime side. I feel like the Muriel should keep pushing for that inhib. I don't know why he's looking to reset. They might send him actually to defend that mid lane, but a massive lane shove on that duo lane side. Italy have to respect it, and Saudi are waiting for that ticking time bomb to hit.
Yeah, something's going to have to give here one way or the other. That's the pressure and advantages of having a character like that Muriel. As you see the Quang half commit to running over to that off lane. Looks like he's just going to drop a ward onto it. Ooh, Big Coliseum's going to force the blink straight out of Dark Dodo. So both of those are on cooldown. But of course, the Coliseum cooldown much shorter than the blink cooldown on that Arius. They do have the information now. This Quang is on the opposite side, cannot join this fight. Are they going to try to start a fight? Dark Dodo also does not have the blink available to him. So much health just taken away from M there, as they are going to use the Particle Obliterator to try to poke even more down on it. They're just trying to force some resets out here, make these guys go back. They don't want to start a full engage, especially while the Kwang is not with them. He is going to start sprinting this other way as Conte and the rest of the Italian boys have started this up. Is this a good call, Wiggle? What's going on?
They were able to get M out of the fight. M had to reset. He's coming from base. The Kwang's going to be here first. The orb's going to fall. Really big wall through the wall.
Yeah, big wall through it for Conte, going to force another blink out of Ragnarok here. The ult does come down from the gadget. Conte is going to fall victim to the shrapnel cannon from ACM, but they're going to trade it back and get ACM down himself too. Getting the blink out of Decker here once again, way up in the sky. M tries to go forward, but a nice containment vest coming out of the Decker, going to stop the pursuit from the Saudi Arabian team. And they just got to keep retreating here. Ragnarok is up forward on it. Another one comes down. Gonna get all 4 members into the cage, but the rest of Team Saudi Arabia isn't there to help with them. Capo Copy is going to get him down real quick. Like, M is on the retreat now as well, and he's going to fall. Only 2 members are back up. This might be the game, Wangle.
This is it.
Muriel's going to fall as well. Only the gadget remains up, and she's going to have to use her blink, but they're not going to stop chasing her. She does have the security gates to try to get herself away. Pretty hard to chase into a gadget, but with a Decker and a Kwang, it is kind of possible. It lands! Oh! Are they going to go get her? Go get her. You got it. Nice, they do. They get her.
Capo's going to get the ace.
Shout out to the Decker there. That is on her. Yeah, Capo gets it. That's going to be the game as well, especially with this Orb Prime going in. Very well fought from Team Italy here, as they looks like they're going to give Team Saudi Arabia the boot, Wangle.
Oh my god, what a game. What an ending to this game. Capo getting the cleanup. What a Decker stun at the end, but what an insane game of Predecessor. The best game of the day by far. No questions asked, I would say. And Team Italy are going to be, they're going to top this group. They're going to take the win. Saudi Arabia, what an amazing performance. Unfortunately, they are going to fall. They're going to end 3rd in the group. And that is going to be it.
That's going to be it. What a performance out of Team Saudi Arabia there. I just want to give them a shout out. You know, that was a tough match. They were 1 or 2 team fights away right there from being able to pull themselves into a 3-way tie, keeping their dream alive of being the best Predecessor nation. Big Italian hands out to the Italian team. Looking al dente today. Big spicy meatball from Conte and the rest of the boys. Congratulations to Team Italy as they win that. Wangle, do you have any closing thoughts before we throw it back to the desk?
Just what a showing from both teams. Unfortunate for Saudi Arabia, elation for Italy. They're going to be very happy. I think people rated this Italy team pretty low down. They're either a B or C team, or an A or a B team, as far as I remember. And I think people have underestimated this team. Very much star players. I would say Dark Dodo, the main star that came out for me. I didn't know who this guy was before this tournament. What a performance. That is going to be it for me.
That's going to be it for me as well. Wangle, thank you for casting with me today. It's always a pleasure to be joined by the Wangler. We're going to throw it back to Dr. Shadow Malix and the lovely R-Dog for 3 Metallica songs.
Thank you so much, Lance and Wangle. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, that was our last game of the day between Saudi Arabia and Italy. After this one, chat was sweating, the players played out of their minds, the casters are losing their voices, but boy, oh boy, are we all having so much fun. We saw that this game meant so much for Saudi Arabia, but we have to give it to Italy. Congratulations. 5 minutes in, we saw skirmish after skirmish, aggression after aggression, kills after kills. Malix and Shadow, what stood out for you? What did you see from that last game?
Oh man, that game, that was easily the best game we've had today. I doubt any other game that was played even off stream was as nail biter as that. But that Dark Dodo, this new player coming out of nowhere, just dominating the battlefield on this Argus. His positioning was on point. His spell usage was on point. He created just chaos across the battlefield, and Saudi Arabia didn't do enough fast enough to get on top of him and shut him down from having a game. And I think that's ultimately the biggest influence in Saudi Arabia's loss in that game.
I have to agree with you there. I also felt like this entire game was like M versus Dark Dude. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But I felt like it was the Argus versus the Terra. They were like, whoever was left standing was the winner. And we saw M doing some amazing feat, almost getting the pentakill early on or in that mid game. But I felt like Saudi Arabia was focused a bit too much on the carry and leaving Dark Dude to do his thing and just running away with the game. And that damage just like went out of went the yeah.
Yeah, congratulations again, Italy. You know, we're looking at this scoreboard here to see who moves forward from Group B. Group A has England and Germany black. We're seeing that you've got the first seed teams here, but for Group B, after that match we just saw, it will be Italy and the US of A red. Any predictors or predictions for the groups tomorrow, C or D? We saw that we have Canada coming in as well, but now that we've got this draft coming in for the grand finals, you see here we're gonna have that I guess September 14th and 15th, we'll have that main event. So of course we're going to see you guys back again here at the Nations League. But Lillaby, can we pull up that previous scoreboard again so we can see who's going to be playing in Group C and D? So then we can make our predictions on who will advance from those groups there.
Yeah.
I know we've got Canada. We have some other teams. Of course, our first match tomorrow is going to be Germany Black versus Canada. That's definitely a team that's or a game
Gold.
that's going to be Germany Gold to watch. But Shadow and Dr. Malix, or Dr. Shadow and Malix, which teams are you voting for to come out of Group C and D?
Well, Canada and Germany Gold, probably. Those are going to be my guesses coming out of Group C. And then France definitely is going to be coming out of Group D. I mean, previous Nations League champions who are just waiting for everybody else to say "bring it on." But out of I think the other three teams in Group D, at least from my perspective, I think that's going to be a real close. I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the rest of those teams, other than France. What do you think, Malix?
I think in terms of C, I feel like Canada and Germany Gold are pretty much locked in for the first and second place. Might be wrong. Netherlands and Russia might show up and show up big. As to for D, I feel like France is like on the top, like you said, and then it's anyone games for in terms of Spain, Scandinavia, and allies. I think it can go actually anyways, but anyways, any
Yeah,
of
it's
those three
going to
ways.
be very, very close for Group D. Well, we already know that France is going to show up tomorrow as they were the champions from our first Nations League. But today we started with 16 teams, and today we had to say goodbye to 4. GG's to all of the teams who played today. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined us on this journey. If you like what you're seeing, please join us on Discord. You can follow us on Twitch as well as X. We will be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. CEST, with our first game being Canada versus Germany Gold. Malix and Dr. Shadow are, both of the, including myself, all three of us are looking at Canada and Germany Gold to advance. But that first game tomorrow, I don't know who's going to win. It could go either or. And the thing is, they're also going to be coin flipping where the game will be played and which server where it will be held in. Special shout out to the players who have made this tournament possible. Without you, there is no Nations League. And of course, I gotta give my special thanks to Lil B, first and foremost, our producer, the man behind the videos, the interviews today. He worked so hard all this week. We're doing so much work on the back end. If like this guy barely had any sleep. Yesterday, we had to tell him, go to bed. And from our admins, Tang, MT, observers, as well as our broadcast team on desk and the casting crew. Of course, lastly, we can't forget Core from Omeda City, who is the man behind helping us get those stats and helping us get those drafts going. And of course, you. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and joining us today. Unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. This is Ardog with the Triple G's, your host here in the second half of the Nations League.
I guess I'm saying bye.
Only one left. France is pushing towards this corner. They're playing out of their absolute minds. J-Boys getting zoned by Panda, and they pick up another one. And with 10 seconds left, no members around, Team France is going to be your first Nations League champion, and they come out and they end this game with a dominant force.
Bring it on.
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 Bring it on, boys. What's up, man?
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Central America is coming for you, baby.